This video will show you how to replace the front lower engine mount on a Mitsubishi Lancer. This will be located under the front of your engine. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. You're going to have to make your way safely under the front of the vehicle. Once you're under here, we can see our transmission and we can see our engine oil pan. Right in between these two is where our engine mount is. Now as we're looking up here, you can see that there's a 14mm headed through bolt. Now in this area, you can really see the 14mm nut on the far side, but if you were to look on the passenger side, that's where the head of the bolt is. We'll be using a 14mm for each side. After an inspection, let's just go ahead and slide that back through that center port there. We're only going to leave it in temporarily here. Continuing on, we're down along the bottom of this area. Now you can see two circular ports. If you were to look straight up and through those, you're going to find a 14mm headed bolt in each. Go ahead and remove the pair. Now moving from there, if you were looking just forward along the frame of the vehicle, you're going to find that you have two 17mm headed bolts. If you were to follow this straight rearward, back to the subframe, you're going to find a third 17mm bolt. Let's remove that one first. There's that mounting bolt, a quick inspection of course. Now let's continue on to those two front mounting bolts. Now we have our two bolts here. We'll fully remove the first one. I'm going to leave it in just a couple threads, and then we'll fully remove that second one. We'll hold on to this beam so it does not fall down, of course, as we continue on. Now we can lower this down. We'll take hold of the mount and remove the through bolt. There it is, friend. Prior to installing any brand new part, we always like to clean and inspect all mounting surfaces. So we're going to go ahead and clean inside of this mount bracket. For that, I'm using a wire brush. You can use a clean rag. We want to make sure that it's not rotted and weak in any way. Aside from that, we have the mounting surface along here. We're paying close attention inside of each of the two ports for the mounting bolts. We have a port along the subframe. Let's check that next. Right here. And of course, we're also going to clean this area all the way across. We're paying attention along the front here. We know exactly where the mount sits. There's typically some rust buildup. It must be cleaned. Once you feel as though you have that cleaned as well as possible, let's continue on along the rear. Of course, I've also cleaned the threads on each one of my mounting bolts. It's time for installation of our brand new front lower engine mount. We'll make sure we have it in the proper orientation. Down along the bottom at the base, you can see that there's a small circular port. We want to have that facing towards the front of the vehicle. We'll bring this up into position. It's time for the through bolt. That's going to come through from the passenger side towards the driver's side. Now that I have that through this area, I'm going to start on my mounting nut. We'll leave this loose for now and continue on with our cross member. Now as we bring this into position, we're going to start in our hardware. I'm all the way at the back side. We'll get this mounting bolt started in. We are not tightening any of this hardware yet. Leave everything loose. Let's continue on for the hardware that holds the engine mount to this cross member next. When installing this, I typically like to insert the bolt into my 14mm socket. I'm going to bring it up through the port here. We can move the mount around as necessary to align our bolt port. Once we have it properly aligned, just go ahead and start it in by hand. Leave it loose until all pieces of hardware are started in. We're going to continue on snugging and torquing our outer hardware using our 17mm. Once I have this snug, I'm going to torque it to 65 foot-pounds. Let's make our way to the front. Now we're going to release pressure from under our engine. We want the engine to be seated in the fully downward position. We have that out of position. Let's continue on with the hardware inside of the center of these two ports. Once you have them started in, go ahead and snug them up, and then I'm going to torque these to 60 foot-pounds. Now it's time for the through bolt. Once you have that snugged up, go ahead and torque it to 35 foot-pounds. Okay, friend, we finished the installation of our front lower engine mount. Now the next thing you want to do is make your way out from under the vehicle. You're going to hop inside the passenger compartment with your foot on the brake, run the vehicle through all gears. You want to make sure the engine does not shift around too much. Aside from that, thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.